Hello, this is 5 Minutes of Thought, episode 19. I'm David Wiedemann from Dave Wiedemann Coaching at davewiedemann.com, and this is called The Loop and the Cocoon. What is the big idea? I'll tell you, it's two. Two things are all you need to know to begin to improve and understand learning in yourself and your organization, and those two things are the loop and the cocoon. And today's lesson is going to be about them. This is the path we will take. Learn about the loop. We'll learn about the cocoon. We will ask, so what? We will reflect, do this in a kind of a cyclical way, and wondrous things will ensue. Let's start with the loop. This is not the loop. This is a line. This is you undertaking an action that has a consequence. You're the blue cloud thinking of something to do. The action's the thing you do. The consequence is what happens after it. As long as this stays as a line, it's not interesting to us. It doesn't belong in this presentation, and it has not much to do with learning. Where it gets interesting is where you grab something from that experience and you bring it back. Grab something, what? Information, ideas, feelings, thoughts, data, something. And if that stuff comes back, you've got a loop, and especially a good loop is one where the information comes back and it changes you. That triangle in the cloud is meant to represent delta change, you changing. The changed you can then complete the loop by undertaking a new action, starting it over again. And you can quickly see that a sequence of loops where you change and you undertake a new action, an improved action, can lead to learning that goes on and on and on and on. That's the beauty of the loop. That's you in the loop, and this whole thing you might call learning. Now let's look at the other tool, the cocoon. The cocoon is about other kinds of learning, those times in your life where you change dramatically. They don't really follow an action consequence plan. And so this is not the cocoon. They're about those times when you are becoming something more sophisticated and bigger and more powerful. And they are not linear, like this cat turning into, baby lion turning into an adult lion. Doesn't happen overnight. There's no adult lion button the little cat can push. It's years of development, messy growth, evolution, which I represent by this stair-step pattern. But in those steps of change, of course, you're vulnerable and there's all sorts of forces at play. So what you really need is a thing that can take care of you while you're there. Let's use a different set of animals to think about this. This is the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. Clearly everybody knows caterpillar won't get it to the butterfly unless it has this space in which to do it. That's the cocoon. It's an environment that takes care of you while you undergo the dramatic changes that you need to turn into what you're becoming. But you can't plan it. It's something that you sort of have to enter the space in to do, to find out where you're going. This you might call development as opposed to learning. And I put the fire here just to remind us that a cocoon is more than a safe place. It's a safe place for you to change and grow and be vulnerable. But it also has a kind of energy or demand or heat. You have to do it. You're driven to do it. Pressure needs to be applied for you to undertake these changes. It's time for the so what moment. We've got the loop. We've got the cocoon. What's the point? And as most of the 5 minutes of thought, there are hundreds of points, but I only have time to talk about one. Here's my one. Do you remember this from 5 minutes of thought, episode 17? This is a landscape of learning called the Gears of Learning, which attempts to show from the top down different kinds of learning growing gradually from information, rich context, kind of light, external learning into deep, intensive learning, which is more about you growing and becoming. Well, on this landscape, the loop and the cocoon come in very handy. The loop helps you understand and shape and change and improve and design the learning at the top ends. And for the learning at the bottom, it won't happen without a cocoon to take care of you while you're there. Things in the middle are a mixture of both. When you're at work, sometimes you're doing things that a loop can help understand. Asking how a meeting went, for instance, that just created a kind of a lightweight loop. But other times you're doing things that need a cocoon, difficult conversation, for instance. Let's pause and reflect. Lightweight question. What does this trigger? Any thoughts, ideas, feelings? Capture them, think about them, follow them down, and you may be on the track to your own development and learning. Advanced invitation is what I call the cubicle challenge. If you really like what I'm talking about here, see if you can't pop up from behind your cubicle and explain it to the person in the next cubicle. I'm going to use the loop metaphor itself to retell the story of what just happened here in this 5 minutes of thought. Today, you are the blue cloud at the top left. That's you deciding to listen to 5 minutes of thought. Then you found me, and I talked about the loop and the cocoon and cats turning into lions. That's all linear. But as soon as we started to think about so what and pause and reflect, we were trying to bend back the learning back to you. Hopefully, it's stuck in there and something changed and it's a whole new you. And the question is for you, what's next? Do you want to continue this learning and make this into some kind of a virtuous cycle of learning by undertaking another sequence? What would it be? I don't know. It's up to you, so I leave it with the question mark. And we are done. This was The Loop and the Cocoon, 5 Minutes of Thought, episode number 19. If you like this, come and see me at David Wiedemann Coaching at davidwiedemann.com. I would be happy to hear from you. And have a great day.